Pheidole Nodus, also known as Pheidole Noda. I have to say these are probably my favourite species of Pheidole. However, I'm only keeping 2 at the minute, so I can't really say much. My Pheidole Noda are probably one of my favourite species, just down to how active they are in the outworld, constantly seeking out food, moving all the brood around when they decide there's a better place for them, even in the outworld a couple of times, and even down to just how fast their growth rate is. When I first got this colony, I had a massive die-off, losing 4 of the 6 queens, about 100 or so workers, and all of their majors except from 1. Now, they really have turned the tides and come back to life, really. The population has completely exploded after that die-off, and they're doing absolutely great now, swarming prey like crazy. They're so protein hungry, it is absolutely ridiculous. But that goes for most Pheidole species in general. I've kind of also noticed 4, well, I wouldn't say 4 different castes, but 2 different sizes of workers and 2 different sizes of majors. Whether it's just a fluke and a couple of them were just fed a little bit less than the others, who knows, but I find it pretty cool. They are reaching the 3-month mark for me now, and I've only got good things to say about them, to be honest. They're just everything I've wanted in an ant species. Now that I've finished singing their praises, I might as well get into how I'm keeping them and what I've read as far as their care goes. The queens are about 13mm, looking jet black in colour, whereas the workers and the majors are much smaller, with the majors being about 4.5mm and the workers varying in size between 3 to 4.5mm, and they're more of a dark brown than black. I'm keeping these girls on the warmer side at 27 degrees in their satin, and they seem to love it. As far as Pheidole go as a whole, I've found they really do like test tube setups and they seem to thrive in them. So I think the satin is one of the better nest choices that I went with, and I can slowly expand it as they grow and add more test tubes to it. As far as humidity goes, they seem to like it about 60 to 80%. I'm not too sure about the humidity in their outworld, but I do spray it about once a week just to give a little bit of humidity and soil to be saturated again so they can plaster the inside of their test tubes as they like. As far as it's been recorded, these guys don't inbreed like Pheidole megacephala and Pheidole indica, which kind of makes them more of a manageable species, averaging about 3,000 workers per queen. I feed mine daily, and they seem to take absolutely any protein source I offer, whether that be superworms, crickets, cockroaches, the lot. They just absolutely love it. I've also read they take the odd seed and grain, however I'm yet to try that with them. Sugars, on the other hand, they do take it, but they don't seem to take as much interest in the sugars as they do the protein. So I normally just fill up a sugar feeder with some sugar snaps once a week. They seem to be quite sensitive when it comes to vibrations and airflow, and even if I take the lid off really gently, they still seem to notice, kind of like how Mesa do, with vibrations running like mad and crazy. Their majors seem to stay in the nest most of the time, acting as food storage containers, as I see their abdomens absolutely swelled up, I'm guessing with extra proteins and sugars. But they do come out on the odd occasion to help break down some foods when the colony is finding it a bit hard for the minor workers to do it by themselves. But in this last clip, as you can see, if you saturate the soil too much, they will move in. They do prefer soil and digging media over anything else. But ants will be ants. And if they really want to take the time and effort to dig their own nest, it is what it is. But overall, I'd say these are an absolute great species, and they're worth having a go at keeping, because you will enjoy them. But that's all for now. Have a lovely day, and bye!